Hey guys, Vince Montero here, and in this video series, I'm going to be doing some step-by-step guides for sellers of all stages. So this is the beginner series, and I'll be doing intermediate and advanced. And it's really just a compilation of some of the content I've already recorded for this YouTube channel for Trivium, but hopefully in a format that's easy to follow, as well as some new information as well. So let's get started. Okay, let's jump into some content that I've made for you guys, starting with what is organic versus paid. So we're really starting the basics. Really, guys, want you to understand the difference between organic searches and sales as well as paid. So organic is something that appears naturally on the Amazon search results page. Anything after a shopper does a search that does not have the sponsored little tag to it, that's going to be an organic placement. And Amazon is the one that determines if your product is relevant to that customer search for that organic placement. Now, where you place is determined by your product ranking score with Amazon. And that's something that can be really kind of changed and affected by your listing and your SEO, which I'll probably do a listing optimization module as well. Now, the paid search is what we're here to talk about. That's the PPC. So these are your sponsored product ads that show up in a lot of different places, which we'll go over, including the top of the page, middle of the page, the sidebar, on product detail pages, and so on. And this is really great for exposure to people who are searching for products like yours if you are doing your PPC correctly, which we are here to help you do. Now, some sellers, not as many these days, but I still get questions about why should I even run PPC? Should I just start without it? Back in the day when I first started doing this in 2017, you could probably get away with PPC, but it was just starting to grow, and it's definitely a necessity now. So some reasons, if you're not yet running it yet to start, is that it really can influence a product's organic ranking on Amazon for specific keywords, because new products lack really kind of any kind of sales history or data related to their conversions or their performance. Amazon PPC is one way to validate a new product and their converting keywords within Amazon. So the more sales you get from particular keywords, the higher you're going to rank for that keyword. And we do have modules about organic ranking and how PPC helps with that if you want to check those out. PPC allows you to level up or level the playing field, so to speak, with larger sellers and maybe even national brands that are also running PPC and ranking for particular keywords. So with Amazon PPC, even if you're not ranked high organically, as long as you're showing high on the search results page for those particular placements, you're right alongside larger sellers, older sellers, and even national brands. So to the shopper, it evens the playing field for you. Lastly, research shows products on the first page of the search results get at least 80% of the clicks. So, and that declines as you go to the second and third pages. The first 3 listings on page 1 get at least 60% of those clicks, right? And additionally, 30% of shoppers, or only 30% of shoppers, go beyond page 1 of the search results. Now, don't get disheartened if your PPC launches and you're not on page 1. Sometimes people that go to page 2 and page 3 really are looking for something specific. So you might be able to get some incremental sales there as well. But the goal is obviously to be on page 1 as soon as you can. And that's what PPC helps you do. It helps you show up on day 1. So sponsored ads are important because, again, gives you a boost, especially at launch. If you've got a brand new product and the shopper's never heard of you, it helps shoppers really quickly and easily discover your product. Obviously, one of the goals is to grow your sales and increase revenue, build your ranking within Amazon, like I discussed, and potentially improve your organic ranking along the way. So these are all really solid reasons to be looking at PPC versus on just relying on organic ranking. Now, what is Amazon PPC? Just to be specific, I like to give this particular definition because it is contrary to a lot of what people think PPC is. And I like to just state that PPC is your marketing budget. So it's not guaranteeing sales. It's literally just your marketing budget for the products that you're selling on Amazon. It does not guarantee sales. So if you were running a brick and mortar store, you'd probably need to spend a little bit of money on a billboard or a magazine article or newspaper for the local town to get people to your store if it's not in a high traffic area. So this is just a line item, really, your marketing budget for your product. And instead of, streets in a brick and mortar store, that's your product detail page. And the Amazon PPC is there to help guide people, from the street into your particular store, which is your detail page. So PPC campaigns target customer searches and products in order to place ads in very high visibility placements on Amazon, which we'll look at. After making successful keyword bids, the advertiser, or you, the seller, pays a fee to Amazon when during a customer search on Amazon, a shopper clicks. So you really only pay if a shopper actually clicks on any of your ads on the search result page or anywhere else. You do not necessarily need to worry about showing up visibly. You do not pay for impressions unless you're doing DSP, but that's a whole other thing. Now, Amazon PPC is, again, advertising on Amazon. That's all it is. So PPC campaign targets the customer searches and it puts products in front of them in order to place them in high visible places so that shoppers will find you and then click on you. Again, after making that successful keyword bid, you pay a fee and then the Amazon shopper that contains that word. That's basically pay-per-click. You're not paying for anything except for the click. So how does that look? This is kind of just an overview of the process from the shopper putting in whatever customer search query that they're doing in the search field within Amazon and how it looks against your PPC. So if you're running a relevant ad and have a product that Amazon says or feels is relevant to that particular search or the keywords that have been put in, your sponsored ad will appear if you're bidding on that keyword that correctly, and it has a lot to do with timings as well. Bidding isn't the only thing though that is the consideration for whether or not your ad appears, but it is one of the elements. So the bid has to be correct as well in order for you to be seen. So again, customer clicks on your ad, that's when you get charged for the click. If they don't, if they just see your ad on the page, that's not a problem. You don't get charged, but high impression targets are really valuable because you're just being seen a lot. Even if someone's not clicking on you, you're not paying for it. So high impression keywords really also can be really valuable just because the visibility that you're getting. So again, note that the bid is important, but it's not a guarantee. You could be paying the highest bid. You could have a $20 bid on certain keywords or higher, and you still might not show up. It's really ranking, relevancy, history, and a lot of different things that the algorithm takes into account when choosing an ad to appear for certain keywords. So how do you run Amazon PPC? What are the ways that you can run Amazon PPC? Well, there's multiple ways actually, but there's 3 campaign types that I just want to clarify, and we'll pop into Amazon really quickly so we can be on the same page. Number 1, sponsored product ads. Now these are just keyword or ASIN targeted ads that allow advertisers to promote their products, and they show up on that first page. The results page is what it's called. And within sponsored products, there's different ways to target the search terms based on different match types. And there's also auto campaigns and different things to do, which I'll go over later on. But this is the basic ad that you see when you're shopping on Amazon that appears actually on the search result page. Now, typically there is an ad right at the top. You can see the diagram here is right below actually what is another ad, and that is a sponsored brand ad. So the ad that you see pretty much right below the search bar, typically on a search result, is a sponsored brand ad. These are also keyword targeted ads. They're a little bit more advanced. They feature a brand logo. They feature a lifestyle creative. Sometimes it's even a video, which is a very, very important placement. And there's a few videos out there that I've done on this channel talking about those as well. But these are great because it allows you for a custom headline, and you can showcase several products. You have to have at least 3 products in order really to leverage sponsored brand ads in this placement. And these ads appear above all the other search results. So very, very powerful placement for visibility and discoverability. And this is also, again, where you can run video ads, which are usually displayed in the middle of the page and the bottom of the page as well. And we'll hopefully see that when we pop into Amazon. Last, there's sponsored display ads. And for this, basically what I'm talking about is the sponsored display ads that appear within Amazon. These are highly visible placements on an actual product detail page. Now, all 3 of these ad types have ads actually on product detail pages, which we'll go at in a second. But for sponsored display ads, all we're really talking about is inside Amazon and on product detail pages versus external audience targeting that you can also technically do with sponsored display ads. But if you're just starting out, you really want to use sponsored display ads to target shoppers while they're still inside Amazon. So again, these are ASIN targeted campaigns. They're not keyword targeted. You're either targeting by category or by specific ASINs that you choose. And they're in really highly visible placements. If you go to any product detail page on Amazon, typically you'll see an ad below the buy box or the featured offer or the bullets as well. And it's sometimes on the very top of a product detail page as well. And this makes it super easy for advertisers to reach their, targeted audience that they're trying to get to. But these are only available to brand registered sellers. So before we go further, I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. So I already did a search in Amazon. And again, sponsored brand ad is the one that appears right here on the top. Anything below here, these are also sponsored product ads, which is the standard ad type that you can do if you're not brand registered. And then typically there's another row in the middle of the page. And again, anywhere you see the word sponsored. So in this example, and it really depends on category as well, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle of the page. And typically you'll get a video ad in the center, like I was saying before. This is a sponsored brand ad, right? So the one at the top is sponsored brand. The one in the middle is sponsored brand. Anything that's branding related or focusing is going to be a sponsored brand ad. And then sometimes you'll get a third row of sponsored product ads in the search result pages. Let's see, typically for this search, I do see some at the bottom. No, the last one I see is another video. So again, this is a sponsored brand ad, and you can see there's 2 video placements now. Some searches, you'll see a video ad at the top as well, but you're basically, for this level, you could expect to potentially be seen in these 2 placements. Then you've got this row of ads right down here. These are also sponsored brand ads. Again, they're a little bit more branding focused, larger images, some taglines, the logo, anything like that really is a sponsored brand. And then we've got a sponsored display one right here as well. Now, this is typically a DSP placement. And there's also typically ones on the side of the search. Let's see. No, there isn't on this one. No, there is right here. But that is sponsored display, but usually reserved for DSP, which is another type of PPC, but not for this series. So those are the ads, primarily sponsored product and sponsored brand, that you see when you do any kind of search. Let's click on a bestseller here. Usually they're going to get targeted by a lot of different shoppers. So now we're talking about ads that appear in the actual product detail page. And there's quite a few, and they do change a lot too. So you might be surprised when you're shopping that you see different ads in different placements. It is always evolving. So it's something that you want to keep track of, or have a team like Trivium or myself, actually helping you with this. So like I said before, sponsored display, that is the top right here. And again, also DSP placement. You've got another ad right here. And again, below the bullets, very prominent. And then again, below the buy box. There's a few different things now Amazon's added. So there is quite some distance now between the buy box, or the featured offer as they're now calling it, and the actual ad that appears. So it's not necessarily above the fold per se anymore as it used to be. Above the fold simply means an ad that is there if user doesn't scroll. They don't have to scroll anywhere to see it. So really, it's only this top one here that's available or is visible above the fold without doing any kind of scrolling. And then in the middle of the page, typically, there's this carousel of ads. So you can see there's 3 different pages of different sponsored products. If we wanted to look through, all related to, the crutch category. Again, you can tell it's sponsored because it's that's there, but this is sponsored product. So this is sponsored product ads, but the product targeting version of this. This is when you can actually target this particular ASIN of the page that we're on, or this category, and appear here in this section. So sponsored product targeting ads, also pretty powerful ad placement to be seen on. And then typically when you scroll down, there's a few different more. Again, anywhere you see sponsored, we've got another band right here. Okay, this is also a sponsored product because it's in a carousel format. So typically there's 2 different carousels on a page, typically one in the middle of the page, and then another one like you see here again at the bottom. We've got a large ad right here. This is a sponsored brand. So sponsored brand product targeting ads. Again, every single campaign type has product targeting versions. So this is the sponsored brand product targeting version. And it's, again, a much larger type of ad type. And then again, you've got sponsored display. Typically sponsored display is in the left-hand side column, either in the search result page or actually on a product detail page as well. There is another couple carousels here. I don't know if they're both sponsored. It looks like sponsored just on this top one. But again, you can see product targeting. Amazon's putting a lot more money in an effort into putting ads on product detail pages. So this is important to not only target, obviously, in your own advertising, but it's equally important to be looking at your own product detail page and seeing who's on there, who is targeting you. You can turn around and then target them as well, right? You might as well, since they're targeting you. But really important, if you've got a lot of different products, you really should be targeting yourself so that you can displace some of these other ads. Again, that's a slightly more advanced strategy. It's called a defense campaign or branding campaign. But you can tell that, the more different products you see on a product detail page, the more chances there are for another seller to take somebody away, from your listing, right? So if you're doing a good job, you've done a great job optimizing your listing, you're ranking well for keywords, you're doing well with the PPC, you really want to do everything that you can to defend your page whenever possible. All right, so to kind of go back to some of the content and to recap, Amazon PPC eligibility. Again, if you're a brand new seller, you can see sponsored product ads now, or you can run sponsored product ads. Again, available for all sellers, vendors, book vendors, Kindle, KDP authors, and agencies. Sponsored brand ads, again, the ones at the top of the search result, and the video ad types I just shared with you, really only available to Amazon brand registered sellers. So there is a lot of different benefits for being Amazon brand registered, one being, different analytics, some protections for your brand. But obviously for PPC, it's really important because it opens up sponsored brand. It opens up sponsored display ads, which we just covered on the product detail pages. And it also opens up Amazon stores. So Amazon stores is, really another free tool that Amazon is giving you to showcase your products. So let's go ahead and take a look at that really quickly. Hopefully this Vive company has a store. So this is a free, really mini website that you can leverage to showcase your product. Even if you just have one product, please make sure you're leveraging this after you're brand registered. Again, this is only available for brand registered sellers. And this is important because some of the video ads that I shared with you only go to a store. So you can't even run some video ad types unless you do have a store. If you've only got one product, put a story about you, about why you came up with the product. If you've got anything to say, you can add it to your store. And again, this is a great way to get people to look at just your product. So unlike the product detail page, which we were just on, which had a lot of different ads on it, when you have a store, you really control what the customer is seeing. And so it's a much smoother way of selling it as well. If you do a good job like this company has done with the different images, look at the products within the images and things like that. There's a lot of advanced ways that you can do stores, but at a bare minimum, what I'm just saying is once you're brand registered, make sure that you do take advantage of the stores. PPC terminology, again, since this is a beginner's session, I want to just share some important terms that you're going to need to know. Obviously, we went over what PPC is, just pay-per-click. Impressions are when someone sees your ad, but they don't click on it, you don't pay for it, but they did actually see it, which is always good. Clicks is the number of times someone clicks on your ad, or it's just the action of a shopper clicking on your ad. The click-through rate is the percentage of customers that saw your ad, right? They saw it, you have an impression, and then they clicked on it. So it's just the comparison between the two. A search term is whatever the customer types into the search bar to find a product. Like in the example I was just showing you, I typed in the word crutches, and that is the results that came up. Crutches is the search term. The keyword or the target is what you as the seller, the advertiser, is actually targeting in PPC. And it could be the exact term crutches. It could be another version, crutches for adults. It could be quite a few different things. And you can connect those through different match types, which we'll cover later on. But there's definitely a difference between what a search term is and a keyword or a target is. So make sure you understand the difference before you are running PPC. And then obviously the bid, the amount that you're willing to pay when a shopper clicks on your ad. It's kind of the upper level of what you're paying. You're basically putting in a maximum unless you play with the dynamic bidding. But for this conversation, it's basically the maximum that you're willing to pay to be seen in front of a shopper for them to potentially click on it. Additional PPC terms, targeting. When you're looking at your different campaign types, you can choose different targeting methods. Sometimes it can be keywords, it could be match types, it could be ASINs, like specific ASINs you want to be seen on, or even categories. So we'll go into that more. Negative keyword is the kind of the opposite of a target. It's something you don't want to be seen on. So when you're optimizing your campaigns, this is something you're going to want to start adding because it lets Amazon know, hey, this search term is not really converting for me. So I actually want to make it a negative. So I will no longer be visible for that. Keyword match types. Again, when determining how to match your keyword that you're bidding upon with the search term, Amazon's going to look at your matching types. Broad simply means it's going to be a broad match. So it could be just your word that you're using for PPC along with some other search terms. So I just put in crutches. If that was broad match, then crutches for adults would also apply. Crutches for kids, tall crutches, one arm crutches. The word crutches is it. The word crutches is in it. So I would be seen potentially for that. Phrase matching, crutches for adults. Let's say that is the target, crutches for adults. So you'd be seen for tall crutches for adults, crutches for adults black, but you would not be seen for anything else outside that does not contain crutches for adults. And an exact match. Exact match is just exactly that. If I was targeting the word crutches in PPC exact match, then I'd be seen for either crutch or crutches. And I'll go into match types again a little bit more. Dynamic bidding is a little bit more advanced. What you want to do is look at your dynamic bidding and keep it on down only. That's a setting within Amazon that is preferred before changing the dynamic bidding to either up or down or to fixed bidding. Placement bidding allows you to change the bidding from 0 to up to 900% increases for placements such as top of search, so on the search results page, or on the product detail pages. And I'll share with you how to do that as well. ACoS is just the advertising cost of sales. This is a Amazon only specific term. It's very similar to ROAS. It's just the inverse of that. But this is just a general metric that measures the efficiency of your campaigns. And it's basically the ratio of spend on the advertising amount of the sales that results from those ads. So it's advertising spend divided by PPC sales. And TACoS is a metric that if you guys watch any of my content, I really love because it's a little bit more holistic. It takes into account your organic sales as well as your PPC sales. So again, TACoS measures the advertising spend relative to the total revenue of PPC and organic sales. At the end of the day, you're here to make sales on Amazon. Organic is great, PPC is great, but you really want to look at your holistic view of how your PPC is doing. And so the TACoS metric helps you really gauge, how successful your PPC campaigns are doing in helping to even ramp up or help with organic sales as well. Hopefully you guys, have gotten some different insights from this really kind of solid base foundation. In the next episode, I'll be going into more of the campaign structures and diving into how to set up those campaigns as well. But hopefully you guys really appreciate this kind of series. We're trying to produce a little bit more longer form content for you. So if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe below.